Of course, that guy is gonna go right now. India, it's a lot. I'm in India for the next month. Let me tell you, traveling in India is not for the meek, but if you have an open mind and a good sense of humor, it can be one of the best travel experiences. Now, India is a land of contrast. It is beautiful, it is polluted, it is loud, it is serene, but the people here are amazingly friendly and the food is fantastic. And so I can't wait for the next month. I'm here in New Delhi for the next week and I'm gonna take you along for the ride. And stay tuned until the end of this video because I'm going to share with you the things that I love and the things that I could leave behind. All right, so I'm outside Sitaram Diwan Chand and we were here the first day we arrived, well, the morning after, but we were so exhausted. I just said, you know what, the first day I'm here in India, I'm not going to film anything. We woke up and thought, okay, what are we gonna have for breakfast? We just walked around the neighborhood and my overarching principle of eating anywhere is to go where there are a lot of people. If there are a lot of locals, you know it's going to be good. And so as we were walking around, we found this place. Now, the name is actually really interesting. Sitaram is the father, Diwan Chand is the son, and they started as a food cart in this neighborhood in 1971. And today they have this restaurant, but they also have this huge food delivery service. So let me show you this food because this was the first thing we had in India and it was amazing. It's called chole bhature, and this is what they're famous for. So what you do is you get this bread, it's got like spices on the inside, it's fluffy and so light. Then you've also got these chickpeas, a little bit like chana masala, except more spices, darker spices. You, I think, have this like mint chutney on top and then some potatoes. And then one of my favorite things here, I think is called achar, and it's the pickles. This pickled carrot is amazing. They are spicy, they are salty, they are sour. They make all of this come together. And then finally, we got a lassi. Now this is a very typical breakfast in northern India. The people here are from West Punjab, and so we are having something from this area right here in Delhi. They do give you spoons, which is fantastic, and I'm just gonna do this without my right hand. How I like it, onion on top. It is spicy, but not too spicy, just full of flavor. Not hot, but just lots of aromatic spices. This bread here is so soft, and these pickles, this is the perfect breakfast, the perfect breakfast. That was the best breakfast. We are definitely going back tomorrow. In fact, Alan said it's not just the best breakfast, it's the best brick food. Like, he just loves it as much as I do, just the right amount of spice. Like, if you're like me and you don't really love breakfast, you're not into pancakes and waffles, this is the perfect place to go. But now it's time to have some chai in the street. Now, one of our favorite things to do here is actually just been to get some chai and to sit on the street. It's loud, there's a lot going on. Some of it's really interesting, some of it's a little gross, and some of it is bright, colorful, people friendly. It's like everything all in one. Now, there are a lot of places to get chai. We tend to go to the same place, which is just outside Hotel Relax International, if you can find that in this neighborhood. But what I love about his chai is everybody has their own recipe, but he actually uses cardamom. So it's got that chai flavor, but also is like super bright, aromatic. You want your tea to be scalding hot. Now, where we go, they do use bottled water, but also he serves it so hot it has to be in 2 cups, and even in 2 cups it's too hot to touch. We have to sit it down, and you want it to be scalding because that means it has been boiling for a while. You want to boil everything out that could possibly be bothering your stomach. One final tip, don't call it chai tea, and that's because chai literally means tea, so you're saying tea. We are walking about 30 minutes for lunch. So the really beautiful thing about YouTube and the community is that I have a subscriber from New Delhi, Taryn, who we're gonna meet up with later this week, but he gave us some amazing suggestions. We would like to pick up a phone. And then also he suggested somewhere to eat. So we're going to do that. It's about half an hour walk. We could take a tuk-tuk, but we've just decided that since it's half an hour, we're gonna walk and see what the neighborhood looks like. This place is known as like a backpacker's neighborhood. Lots of hotels. I would say that if you get a hotel on Booking or Agoda, it's not gonna look the same as the pictures, but you can get a really good deal. Now, walking here can probably be one of the most dangerous things that you can do. There are so many different types of transportation, and there's a whole lot of beeping, a lot of honking the horn. It's not like Indonesia where when, say, a tuk-tuk or something's coming behind you like a bike, they'll just be like beep beep to let you know they're behind you. Here, it's all out, and it's very, very loud. So you always have to be looking in front of you, behind you, on the sides. That's how you're gonna do it if you want to get where you're going. So this is Connaught Place, which is where Taryn recommended that we go. We're heading to a restaurant called Juggernaut, and then he said there are some stores here that we can get good local products, and we can also shop for a phone. So within the first day, one of the things that I've noticed that is interesting is that the last time I was here, I was surprised, but a lot of people actually thought that I was from India in the north. A lot of people thought I was Punjabi. And then Alan is Indonesian, but his great-grandfather is from Lahore, Pakistan. And so I feel like people have been staring at us and also curious as to where we're from, because we look a bit familiar, but obviously with our dress and our mannerisms, we're clearly not local. We're close to the restaurant, and I'll say within a span of walking 20-25 minutes, New Delhi changes quite a bit. So we were in a very much an older neighborhood. Now we're out in the open, lots of green space, lots of space, still honking, but it does change quite a bit. Okay guys, so we got to Juggernaut. This place is busy. We actually had to wait. There was a table ahead of us, but the wait was less than 5 minutes. It's a traditional South Indian restaurant, but it's very modern. It was built, so it's been around since 2017, but Taryn from Instagram said he thought I would really like it because it has a lot of traditional Indian food from South India. Now the funny thing is, he told me where to go, and then he also told me what to order. And so then when this first plate came out, I was just sitting down and I said to Alan, I said, "What is this?" And he said, "I don't know." So I looked it up and I thought it was this dish called pav bhaji, but it's not, because then this came out. And so that's what I think this is. So maybe this is like a complimentary starter. I have seen these before. They're like a soft but warm kind of, I don't know if they're made out of rice. This is a very unique experience for me because I have no idea what I'm eating. I don't know where it comes from, but I do know that I love Indian food. Like when I look at this, it looks like it's chana or chickpea. This is, I'm assuming, a mint chutney. We've got some onion, some toasted bread. I'm gonna go with this first. This is a traditional street food. So a little bit of the chickpea, the mint. Ooh, spicy, really tasty. And then these warm rolls. A buttered roll. Alan loves bread. You're gonna love this. It's a buttered roll. You can see it's just like a spongy cake. I don't know what I'm eating, but I love all of it. It's so good. This is a lot of food just for 2 people. We decided to get some light drinks, so we have a soda with lime coming, and that's because Alan ate a lot of breakfast, and then his stomach was like, wow, that's a lot of spice even for an Indonesian. And then I got a lemon iced tea. It's hot. These are two things that should just kind of like lighten things up a little bit. All of the food has been so delicious. I do feel a little bit overwhelmed by trying to explain some of these flavors and dishes to you because they're so different to me. I mean, certainly I've had them, but I don't know the nuances of them. I know I love sauce. So like all of these dishes where you get to try the different sauces, this is my heaven. I love dipping things in sauce, but until I get with a guide, it's really just gonna be me sharing with you what I read on the internet or I saw in a video. What I like about this place, Juggernaut, is that a lot of videos that Westerners make of India is often street food, is often in really old neighborhoods, very old traditional ways of cooking things. But India is also very modern, a very well-educated society. And so I think it's also important to say, hey, you know what, you don't have to come to India and just eat right off the street and then like fingers crossed, hope for the best. There are restaurants also serving fantastic food and places like this that are very modern, delicious. This is a really nice start. There's air conditioning, we're very comfortable, so I think we're just gonna take it easy, make our way through this because we have a lot of food and it's gonna take a while to eat, but I think it's nice to take it slow. So it's 2 days later. What we didn't know was when we arrived just before the national holiday Holi. The Holi festival is the celebration of good over evil. It's the festivals of colors. It was amazing, but we weren't sure what to expect. We heard there would be a lot of water, a lot of throwing color, but in the end, it was actually pretty tame for us, and we were able to really enjoy the last few days. We ate a lot of traditional Indian food and so many traditional Indian drinks. We walked over 30 kilometers in the last 2 days. Today is an errand day. We have to pick up an Indian SIM card. I'll tell you more about that. And then we're going to a market because we both need clothes. And then hopefully, my friend Shalini Roy told me that in the Muslim quarter or the old Muslim quarter is the best place to get a kebab. And so that's the plan for today. So I know a lot of people think that the market is the best place to shop, but it actually isn't always, especially in a place like India where you really need to know how to haggle. And you have to haggle hard. Like Indians, I think, are probably the most fierce hagglers. And so when you forget the first price, a lot of times the real price is less than half of what you started with. I'm Canadian, which means I'm not a very good haggler, but I think a really good place to start is actually going into stores. So on our way to the market, we actually stopped by this place and it said it was like a shoe emporium. So I was able to go in there and look at the price of shoes there because there were shoes that I saw in the street and I just tried to get a sense of how much they would cost and people were saying $2,000. But in here, they were $399. But on the way down, one of the other things on my list was just a small day bag, something that was light that would hold a bottle of water and my camera things and maybe if we picked up some stuff to buy. So I got this. This was $3.99. It's neon green. But if I were in the market, I probably would have paid a little bit more for this. But this is exactly what I'm looking for. It's light, it holds everything I need. And now we're on to the market to haggle for the rest. Now at the other end of the spectrum, we are at Fab India, which is a store that started in 1960 and is probably the most famous Indian retail shop. It is a great place to get quality Indian clothes. And so yesterday I bought a completely impractical but beautiful dress that is turquoise and sparkly and it's everything you want to wear. I'm probably going to wear it to the Taj Mahal and that may be the only time I wear it, except when we go camping because it's a little heavy and it's supposed to be cold then. But Alan also decided he would buy something that was a little bit special for the time, and that's the reason we're at Fab India. right, so now we're at Jam Path Market. Now, this market is fantastic to get clothing, shoes, bags, jewelry. There are lots of things here in this area, very affordable, but you need to know how to haggle. So normally the price that they start with is about twice the price that you should pay. So be prepared to have fun with it, and no, you need to pay half. Now, we're coming here and we've already looked around, gotten some idea of the prices, but the reason that we're here is starting tomorrow, we're taking a 13-day backpacking tour of northern India. 5 years ago, I came here with Incredible India. It was my first time to India, and I took the Maharaja Express, and wow, it was amazing. But that was a luxury tour, and I vowed I would always come back. And so I went from luxury, and now we're gonna backpack. It's gonna be 13 days. It's going to be quite interesting because even now, I don't backpack like I used to. So the thing about this market as well is that it can be very overwhelming. A lot of people trying to get your attention, and you really have to, if you don't see anything you like, be firm and just say no, because otherwise you will be stuck in people's stalls. All right, so I put the camera away because we were so busy looking at things, trying on things, negotiating, walking away, coming back. In the end, I got almost everything I needed except for closed-toed shoes. But what I really loved was the last vendor that I visited. I had talked to 2 nights ago. He had beautiful dresses. I just couldn't afford them. But in the end, we found one that was perfect for my budget, and for that I'm grateful. I'm almost set for this tour of India. All right, as promised, I wanted to share with you the things that I loved about India this week and the things that I could have done without. I think maybe we start off with the negative so we can leave on a high note. And I want to say overall, the good and the bad, the good outweighs it so much. This has been an amazing week, have had an amazing time. But there are some things, as I said, starting off, that you need to have a good sense of humor and you need to have an open mind, or you just need to like chill out, because things aren't going to be like where you're from at home, depending on where you're from. But I think India is kind of like this unique place. It doesn't exist anywhere. So number one, the things that I could do without, that's pollution. So in Delhi, the smog here, I would say by day 3, I could really feel that my throat was getting sore. We can notice that we're speaking differently, a little bit more hoarse. And then at night, it seems like our nose is running, or like it seems like we're on the cusp of a sinus cold, but actually we're not. It's just our body kind of regenerating, I guess. Also, in that umbrella of pollution, I would say street pollution, so the garbage. The garbage is really, really bad. The garbage situation, I know some people will say, oh, it's not in all neighborhoods, but I think you really judge a place by all neighborhoods, not just the ones that have a lot of money. And then also the spitting. I have been spit on at least 2 times that I know of, not purposely, just people spitting. Once it was on the back of my leg, another time on my foot, and those are the times that I know of. It's not just, I know people will say, oh, those people, they're not educated enough to know not to spit. I see people who are very well dressed. I see women spit. Like everyone, children, it's just part of the culture. And so there are lots of signs up that say don't spit, but people still do, and it's gross. I find spitting gross. So those are the things that I haven't loved. Also the honking, too much honking. I know I can deal with a little bit of honking. In Indonesia, people are like, but here you'll have a motorbike go down a road the whole time on the horn, like, It gets loud. First couple days didn't bother me, and then yesterday, like, I just couldn't deal with it. Noise pollution. So basically, it's just all of the different forms of pollution that I don't like. The things that I love. The people here are so, so nice. People here have been helpful. They have been friendly. They've looked out for us, warned us of don't go down here, or watch your bag, watch your phone, stay away from those people. So people have been just so warm and welcoming in a way that I had forgotten. And then for Alan, he didn't expect. You know, people, of course, are trying to sell you things, but also a lot of people just helped us out with, you know, expecting nothing in return. So that was fantastic. And then there's this energy to India. I can't quite explain it. You know, it's, as I said, India is a lot. It's spicy, and that's kind of the energy. There's just something to it. It's hard to explain, and I've never felt it anywhere else. And then also, along with that is the food. The food here is fantastic, north to south. It's so diverse. India is like 100 countries in one country. It's so fantastic. We have loved exploring, and we've only just eaten a little bit. We still have 3 weeks to go, so I can't wait to see what the rest of the time brings us. If you love travel and food, I hope you consider subscribing to my channel because I have lots to share in the next few weeks.